Now today I'm going to start a series of videos called Squares, Rectangles, and Variables. There is a key connection that a lot of my students are not making when they watch my videos, and I need to make this connection once and for all because apparently they have not been introduced to this. So I'm going to start with this. Alright, we're going to go back to basic arithmetic. 2 plus 5 equals 7. Anybody that knows basic arithmetic knows this. Now, if you don't know basic arithmetic, you may want to go find somebody that knows basic arithmetic and learn it from them, because I just don't have any lessons on that, and I don't even know how I would teach you basic arithmetic. Okay? But if it comes down to it, eventually I may have to. I don't know. But 2 plus 5 equals 7. Now, what is a variable? A variable is a number in disguise. This is like when you take your kid and you put him in a ghost costume and you send him out to a Halloween party. The kid has not changed at all. The only thing that's changed is the outer garment that's covering him. Okay? He's still your kid, but he now has something covering him up, so he's not so easily recognizable. But just because your kid is not as recognizable as he used to be, doesn't mean that he's any less your kid. Same thing here. When you say x plus 5 equals 7, that x is still 2. It's just you don't see it as a 2 anymore. Okay? Just because that 2 is now covered up with an x, doesn't mean that that 2 is any less a 2. Same type of deal. So now x plus 5 equals 7. Now then, what we're going to do, I'm going to change this. A variable can be any letter of the alphabet, literally. Okay? Now I want you to take a look at this square. This square has 4 sides. And the length of each side is 2. This length is 2, this length is 2, this length is 2, and this length is 2. Okay? Now, we said here that this length is 2. We said here that this length is 2. But this time we said this length is A. Well, A is 2. In this example, A is 2. Okay? So just because we called it A and not called it 2 does not mean that it's not 2. It's 2. It's just got a disguise on it. A variable is a number with a disguise. That's all it is. Okay. Now, do you remember from your basic arithmetic where they said length times width is the area of anything? Length times, well, this is length here, this is width here. Now, granted, this is just side to side, okay? But, same concept. 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay, so the area inside this rectangle is 4. Now then, when you see a squared, well, the a obviously in this case is the 2. We just said that because this side is exactly the same length as this side, so this 2 is that. Okay, so now we know what the a is. The square represents this entire square. Okay, that's where they get this from. So every time you see that little 2, which is called a superscript, by the way. Every time you see this little letter 2, or number 2 right here, as soon as you see the number 2, you think of a physical square, because that's what it is. Okay? So a squared equals 4. Well, is it 2 times 2 equal 4? Of course it is. A comes from this. 2 comes from this square. So every time you see the superscript of 2, you think of a square. When you see the superscript of 3, you think of a Rubik's Cube. Okay? Because what is 3? It's a cube. Same thing. So, 2 times 2 is 4. A squared is 4. That's where they get this from. Whew. If you didn't understand that, leave me a comment down here below. I will tell you more in a future video. Stay tuned.